Hi, my name is Jovin Tan. I'm diagnosed with cerebral palsy, yet I'm actually doing sailing and I compete for Singapore. So I would say that for my childhood, I think the two biggest problems that I used to face was one of it was discrimination, and of course public stares whenever I'm out. Discrimination alone actually made me feel that a lot of times I'm not able to participate in like school activities like PE lessons, and then stares from public always make me feel low confidence in wanting to get out of the house. In my lowest moment in life, it would be wanting to commit suicide when I was much more younger after knowing that I'm different. But just that at that point of time, I wasn't strong enough or fit enough to actually lift myself off the wheelchair over the window.
Cerebral palsy is usually caused by damage to the brain before or at birth and is more prevalent during childhood. It primarily affects his muscles and limits mobility in his legs, thus requiring him to use a wheelchair.
Hi, I'm Yi Ting from Singapore Disability Sports Council. I'm from the Corporate Communications Department, and largely the department handles all communications work for the council itself. I think Jovin didn't see, after he came into sport, he didn't see his disability as a form of limitations anymore. Yeah, because he never knew sailing could, be something possible for someone with disability. What's more, an individual that is actually on wheelchair. Yeah, so only then, he was able to actually discover, the thrills of the sport, just like the able-bodied counterpart.
I've actually started sailing at the age of 15, so till present I've actually sailed for 17 years. I was actually introduced to sailing by Singapore Disability Sports Council, and the reason why I actually took up sailing is because to use it as an escape from home from my bad-tempered father. So when I started sailing, it was very challenging because I'm the most severe disabled guy among the group. Simple actions like pulling a rope actually make it more difficult for me, and especially when I was actually selected for the 2004 Athens Paralympic Games. Training was tough actually, so every weekend I would get a lot of bruises and cuts, blood on my elbows and knees, and I actually almost wanted to give up at that point of time. Definitely sailing has taught me a lot of meaningful lessons that I can actually apply in my daily life, like time management and of course always thinking ahead. So after learning sailing for about a few months, I was actually selected to Australia for actually a friendly kind of competition, and I did pretty well, so that actually motivates me to actually work harder. So the first trip that I actually went was actually in Australia. It would consider to be my first overseas trip, traveling alone without my family members. So I was quite worried about how to manage the daily activities, like showering and toileting, stuff like that. And then the first major game that I was participating was the 2004 Athens Paralympic Games.
Down on the coast, and the conditions today, well, they like the breeze, but it's just the direction that it's coming from for this mixed sonar race 1.
Yeah, so I would say that the 2004 Athens Paralympic Game was the highest competition that I actually participated after taking up sailing for about 3 years. Till present, there are 4 Paralympics that I actually participated, namely 2004 Athens, 2008 Beijing, 2012 London, and the most recent one, 2016 Rio Paralympic Games. Okay, because there is no sailing event in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games, that's why I actually started into coaching, because I still want to be involved in sailing and also passing on my knowledge of sailing and racing to more people, and hopefully to train somebody to be as good and prepare for the next Paralympic Games. So I would say one of the biggest challenge to become a coach is to acquire a motorboat license, and I actually had to go and see an MP to write a letter to appeal to the authority to allow people like me with a disability to actually take up the license. It was not a smooth transition. I would say that now that I acquired my driving license for motorboat, there are some rules that's being set for me. For instance, I have to actually have my life jacket on me at all times, and as well as to have able body to be on board whenever I operate the motorboat.
We serve about over 10,000 beneficiaries every year by offering them sports opportunity at 3 levels, from inducting them into rehabilitation programs to them picking up as recreation, and for those that are interested to actually pursue a career out of it by actually exploring high performance sports.
So I always actually live by this quote saying that, or rather say believing that everything is possible as long as I make the extra effort. I often keep telling everybody that this message that in life is always about trying and not giving up, because if you try, there's always be 1% towards success.